I've been trying to play a little more 8.0 to 8.7 jets lately, but this thing has become the bane of my existence. This is the Vixen. It's a premium rank 5 battle rating 8.7 fighter from Britain. The only reason I'm making a video on this plane today is because of the amount of times I've had to chase one of these things around in a MiG-15 bis or an LA-15. And I swear it's only become an issue recently. I don't remember having to chase around Vixen up until like a couple weeks ago. And with all the people playing it recently, I decided to try it out for myself. And it's like exactly what I expected. It's extremely boring. The strategy you're going to use is fly up high, above everybody usually, point your nose down, maybe fire a missile or two, and then point your nose back up and run away because no one's going to be able to catch you in a climb, at least in a 9.0 game. It honestly isn't that often you get fully up tier to 9.7, which is kind of surprising to me. And if you're one of the people that plays this, that's very good for you because you don't have flares, and up tiers to 9.7 means you're going to see R60Ms. Although, as I said, you're normally not getting fully up tier to 9.7. Normally it's 8.0 to 9.0 or 8.3 to 9.3. And in that matchmaker, this thing is extremely effective. It's hard for me to call it good in any way just because it doesn't really have any like agility or really any other redeeming flight characteristics other than its really powerful engine and its really good acceleration and top speed. And the whole point of this plane is to absolutely abuse your engine, abuse your climb rate, abuse your top speed. There really aren't many planes that are going to be able to touch you in a 9.0 game. Oh yeah, I should probably talk about the armament of this thing, right? It is kind of its biggest quirk after all. So you don't have a gun on this plane. You only have the option to carry missiles for air-to-air weaponry. You can carry 4 red tops, which for 8.7, they're actually very effective. Now, apparently they used to be better at some point, but I don't know too much about that. I've never used the red tops before until now. This is also just based on what people have told me, and I haven't actually looked into it myself, so this could be completely wrong, Lamau. Anyway, red tops are 15G IR tracking missiles. And 15Gs isn't that bad for 8.7, especially considering a very large amount of planes you're facing don't have any flares, and they're not exactly used to having to keep their head on a swivel all the time looking for missiles every second. Because after all, this thing is 8.7, and 8.7 is sort of in that area of the game where it's like 60% premiums. And as I'm sure you all know, people buy their way into these premiums with no real prior experience in jets, so they don't really know that they kind of got to keep their head on a swivel at all times. And a lot of times, even when they do see the missile coming, they don't really know how to react unless they have flares. Okay, I'm getting off track. The red top is honestly a solid missile at 8.7, and they are quite effective on people who aren't paying attention, of course. You do have a good bit of room to lead the missile when you fire it, which is very nice because they do kind of take a second to get off the rail and get tracking. This is something you got to keep in mind because close range shots are actually pretty difficult and they don't have that much range to begin with, so it's kind of hard to take longer range shots. It's kind of funny, the first few games I played in this, the missiles kind of fooled me into thinking they have a lot more range than they do because it feels like they're in the air for a long time before they hit their target, which frankly that is the case, but that's because the missile itself is pretty slow. At least it feels that way. I don't know exactly the numbers, and I don't know the numbers compared to other missiles like the AIM-9B or something, but I've been playing a lot of top tier lately, so I think anything would probably feel slow compared to top tier missiles. So maybe the missiles aren't even slow at all and I'm just an idiot, which is very possible. But for real, launching the red top's rear aspect at anything more than 2 kilometers is a very strong chance it won't get there. But that's at least if you're low to the ground. At higher altitudes, of course, the range is going to be a lot better, the missiles are going to get there faster, etc. And honestly, a pretty good portion of the time, that's where you're going to be is at higher altitudes because you outclimb a lot of things. When it comes to my personal thoughts about the plane, how I genuinely feel about it, I don't really like playing it, and I really don't like playing against it. Like seriously, the way you play this thing, I feel like I'm playing a bomber I have to play so passively. And honestly, I don't really enjoy playing the game like this. But those of you who are regular viewers here probably already expected that to be my position on this plane. However, though my position is relatively negative on this plane, it is very effective. The red tops are kind of funny and you do get 4 of them, but of course the trade-off is you don't have a gun, so you're not going to be able to dogfight anything, and even if you wanted to dogfight something, the flight performance isn't all there to do so. I guess you could run some very slow energy traps on people, but even then it's probably going to be hard to get your nose pointed on them in time in order to get a missile off, because by the time you are pointed at them, you're probably too close. It seems like the most effective way to play this plane is just a third party, the 3 or 4 people that are probably chasing one of your teammates. They're most likely not paying attention to you anyway. Okay, so since I thought this plane wasn't all that entertaining to play, and frankly I haven't played it that much, my best games are like a handful of 4-kill games because my all my missiles happen to hit, and then by the time I land and get back up in the air, there's only one person left, and my team usually takes care of him before I can get to him. And obviously you don't have a gun, so you can't exactly become a gunfighter after you run out of missiles. You're literally required to go back to base. This plane is literally as close as you can get to playing a bomber without playing a bomber. That's sort of how I think about it, so therefore I don't really want to play it that much. I do get the appeal to people who want to grind out the British tree, but since I don't really want to do that, and I just play planes for fun, this isn't exactly my type of plane I want to be playing all the time. And being on the receiving end of a team that has 4 of these things is extremely unfun, so it's kind of like the bane of my existence when I'm playing the LA-15 or something. It's not that they can easily kill you, it's just extremely hard to kill the Sea Vixen because they can just run away and you'll never catch them. Alright, I think that's all that needs to be said about the Sea Vixen. What do you guys think about it? Specifically, what do you guys think about playing against it? Because it is literally like the most annoying thing ever. That's gonna be it for me today. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.
I am a Sea Vixen player. My favorite beverage is warm Dr. Pepper that I left in my car yesterday.